A game that featured in my most anticipated games of 2026 was Pragmata, a game from one of the most popular publishers over the last decade, Capcom. Pragmata has been announced for what feels like forever, first being revealed in a trailer at the Sony PS5 reveal stream back on the 11th of June 2020. The game will eventually be released on the 26th of April 2026, and luckily, for those still on the fence about whether to buy this game or not, there is a demo on all platforms out now. Of course, I have played the demo, and I'm here to give you my initial thoughts on the game and give my verdict on whether you should buy Pragmata later this month. I played the sketchbook demo on PS5, which does not have many story beats, but it is more focused on gameplay mechanics and showing off the particularly unique hacking technique. The demo starts with Diana, an android seemingly working on something, blissfully unaware that Hugh is fighting off waves of robots around her. We are quickly introduced to the shooting controls and take a few shots at the first robot, however we do minimal damage by ourselves. Overall, the shooting in this game is okay and controls well. It's been a while since I've played a third person shooter, the last one being Gears of War Remastered back in August 2025, so it may be that I'm just a bit rusty, but I did take a while to adapt to the shooting controls here. Feels a little slow to move on to enemies. I'd probably up the sensitivity if/when I play through the full game. A little hint into my overall thoughts there. Once we realise our bullets are useless against enemies, Diana stops faffing about on the floor and decides to join the party. This is where we experience the hacking gameplay for the first time. You aim at an enemy with L2, as you would if shooting, and the hacking grid instantly pops up. Then use square, triangle, circle and cross to move around the grid. You move through the available blue squares and then into the green exit node, to then remove enemy's shield, and gain the ability to do much higher damage for a set time. Additional hacking nodes are added later in the game which trigger special effects when you pass through them. Example 1 is the decode node, that increases damage dealt for a short time, which can stack up by passing through more than one yellow node in a single hack, meaning you could stack up some substantial damage boosts. This also introduces grey exclamation marks, which, if you pass through them, reset the whole hack. When you do a successful hack though, you can see above the enemy's health bar the current buffs and debuffs in place. My favourite node, however, was the multi-hack, which allows you to hack multiple nearby enemies at the same time. This, paired with a weapon we will talk about shortly, the shockwave gun, was a brilliant combination. The overall feeling I have about the combat gameplay is that even though it looks like it shouldn't work, it kind of does. I was playing the game on the standard difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty available in this demo, and enemies didn't really seem to cause any issues. This for me impacts how I feel about the combat. It works, but is this because it works or because the AI was really poor? You honestly have so long to complete a hack because the AI almost refuses to attack you. That aside, I like how the mazes control. I like the strategic approach, and I like having to scavenge for nodes to ensure my hacks are still effective. I'm interested to see how far this gameplay loop goes. It could be quite repetitive, and whether harder difficulties could make it a bit more time sensitive to make the hacks happen. During the demo, I came across a total of 3 additional different weapons to put alongside your pistol. The first was the stasis net, which is a tactical weapon used to hold an enemy in one place, the duration of which varies depending on who you fire it at. Secondly, the shockwave gun, which is a heavy hitting shotgun-like weapon. This can deal high levels of damage with a wide spread once you hack an enemy. And then finally, on the second playthrough, we obtained the Charge Piercer. This weapon does exactly as the name suggests. You charge it up and pierce through armor. When charged, its effects increase. It also works well at range. These 3 weapons were the start of a varied loadout, and I'd be interested to see what other weapons we can add to the arsenal throughout the playthrough. Enemy variations in a small amount of time were actually quite high, from the mannequin starter enemies, moving through different androids, and ending on a decent, if not a bit easy, boss fight to finish. My main critique is that the movement doesn't feel overly smooth, feeling more heavy at points. I'm however aware that this is most likely due to the space setting where gravity wouldn't necessarily act in the same way it does here on Earth. Still, worth mentioning, as if the game required more detailed traversal platforming, then it may become a bigger issue. The biggest compliment I can give this demo is that as soon as it finished, after being shown some additional nodes and weapons I could discover, I booted up a second playthrough instantly. I had played a full 17 minutes and just wanted more. I wanted to perfect the combat, I wanted to try different combinations of weapons and hacks, and I wanted to see if there was anything different second time around. That is the biggest compliment you can give to a demo. I wanted so much more time with the game. I might come back to the demo a bit closer to the release of the game, and it may be that I bite the bullet and buy this game day one. If you like action adventure games and have an interest in what you've seen so far, play the demo. It's free and you can't go wrong with that. Reservations for me sit with not knowing much about the environments or the characters. Environment wise, we do only see the inside of a space station during this demo. However, there is some hints that we may end up in a couple of different environments. I'll share my favourite clip of the demo shortly, which does hint to this. I do think the space station was well thought out and graphically impressive, but I anticipate more impressive surroundings going forwards. Diana did start to grow on me. She had some witty remarks every so often and having a decent relationship with the main character Hugh. Dare I make a comparison, but I did feel similar to the relationship of Joel and Ellie in some conversational pieces. This next moment alone is easily my favourite example of this promising relationship, so much so I will let it play out in full.
How the heck am I gonna get back to Earth?
I don't think you can get home from here, because this is just the demo.
Immersion may have been broken for a second there, but it did make me chuckle quite a bit. Please consider subscribing to the channel, comment below if you think you will pick up Pragmata, and hit the like button on this video if you found it entertaining in any way. It helps my videos find more gamers just like you. Cheers!